Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Tuesday night. Hope everybody's having a great evening so far. Lovely to have you all in for another episode of the Prime Time Show. We are going to talk about a Titans injury luck actually breaking in favor of the Titans for once. Jonathan Taylor's expected to miss some time, certainly on Sunday, and we will talk about the implications of that and where it may matter and where it may not matter, given that Jonathan Taylor was not a particularly big factor in the last time the Titans beat the Colts. We'll get to the firing squad and how many coaches you think the Titans have gotten fired in the last 5 years. BF says, are we living in the Matrix? The Titans getting on the favorable side of injury luck? It's not the first time that it's happened, but certainly it would be good for you to capitalize on it for once with a big divisional contest coming up at home. We'll do a gone viral video at the end of the show because that's what we always do on Tuesday nights, and we have a good one for you. Lots of stuff to talk about here on A to Z Sports Prime Time. Before we get rolling, need you guys to share the broadcast around on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. Wherever it is that you are spending your evening with us, go ahead and share this broadcast around. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, like the video, share the broadcast that way. You can also subscribe to the channel. If you're on Facebook Live, like Billy Jones or Jerome Hurd, you can share not a public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And if you're on Twitter, please do us the kindness of retweeting the show. That's in the bottom the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and we would be grateful for you that way. Stephen King says, hashtag Moonbeam. Bert's got it trending in the radio show chat, and it's made its way into prime time. She was in here earlier. Bert met the back end of her as it trailed across the screen in front of me, but we will certainly go and we'll see if she makes a recurring appearance later on as we get this thing off and rolling. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. If you're new to the show, what are you just now doing here? It's week 13, for God's sakes. If you are, though, I'm proud as always to be presented to you by the great people at the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, Amanda J. and her team have you covered. Nobody does more right by you and your constitutional rights than AmandaJGentry.com. The great people at True Math Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. A new way to work out for the best version of you. Go to True Math Fitness today. And Zen Sports. Download the promo code or download the app. Plug in the promo code ATOZTN. Be entered to win 2 VIP tailgate tickets to the Titans and the Colts, courtesy of Zen Sports on Sunday. Tell you more information about that later on in the show. So there's a lot of different stuff. Jacob Ray says, Amanda J, she gets shit done. That'd be a great motto too. And that is the truth. Absolutely. But we're here to talk about the Titans needing to get shit done against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. It would be a huge win for them to be able to pull off. The likelihood of them being able to do it, pretty unlikely right now. I'll pull up the line courtesy of Zen Sports to see what the betting line looks like right now. I'd be curious to see whether the Titans at home are favored, given the amount of success that this football team has had at home, continues to have at home so far this season, undefeated at Nissan Stadium. Nuclear says, who's ready to go 10-7? I'm certainly not going to jump on that bandwagon with you, but I will be curious to see. I mean, I'm willing to entertain the thought of playoffs if they win a game on Sunday. And technically, God help us, they're in the hunt graphic right now. They are currently in the hunt graphic because of the loss by Robert Walsh's Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football to the Baltimore Ravens. LA losing gives Tennessee the tiebreaker at 4-7, and the Titans are officially in the hunt. So, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but we'll work through this together. And I've got the line courtesy of Zen Sports here right now. It's you're probably not going to be surprised at this, but we'll get to it here in just a second. First, I want to ask you your Two Rivers Ford take in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. We will discuss at length together what is your level of confidence that the Titans will be able to beat the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. I'll give you their percentage chance to make the playoffs as we sit here right now. I will also give you the percentage chance that the Titans could be in the playoffs if they beat the Colts on Sunday. But we'll talk about it together. What are you confident? What is your level of confidence that the Titans are making the playoffs? Amar said, or excuse not making the playoffs, beat the Colts on Sunday. Amar says, quit drinking the Kool-Aid, Buck. It's not happening. One, that you would ever accuse me, of all people, of drinking the Titans Kool-Aid is laugh out loud funny. Two, Amar, you know better. You're one of the names that I see here on a recurring basis. So either you're not paying attention to a word that I've said for the past 4 years about the Tennessee Titans, or how generally, or what it is that, like, how it is that I go about doing my job. I don't drink the Kool-Aid on anybody. I go to games, I watch games, I analyze games, I talk to people, and I sit down here and I talk to you guys, or I sit down during the radio show and I talk to you guys about what your football team is doing at any given point. Kool-Aid, I can give a shit about the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not drinking anything that's out of a community punch bowl. So let's start there first and foremost. No, thank you. But the idea that I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on anybody, other than, if you want to accuse me of drinking the Kool-Aid on anybody, be the Houston Texans. I'm all in on Houston. Or the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are my favorite team to watch if I'm just going to throw on some tape on a regular basis. Right now, the Detroit Lions on offense are my favorite team to watch if I'm just going to throw on some tape right now. And I'm absolutely buying stock in the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud, but drinking Titans Kool-Aid is one of the dumber things that you've said. And I hope that you'll watch the tape from this and improve because, I think that just to have self-awareness to accuse me of being a Kool-Aid drinker is laugh out loud funny. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. So Jonathan Taylor is going to miss this game on Sunday. He's going to miss some time, it sounds like, moving forward. And for the Indianapolis Colts, that's not the biggest deal in the world, where it might have been in other years, because Jonathan Taylor has been a big part of their success in Indianapolis. Obviously, for the Colts, they want to find ways to work both him and Zach Moss. But the reality of the situation is Zach Moss was the better player against the Tennessee Titans when these two teams last played in October. So your level of confidence at your Two Rivers Ford take, as always, it's made possible by the great people at Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people, quality American-made Ford vehicles, and award-winning customer service. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com. So, Jonathan Taylor is going to miss some time. This was reported by The Athletic earlier today. He is going to undergo thumb surgery in Los Angeles tomorrow. The hope by the Colts, according to Jim Irsay, who told The Athletic this, is that he can return in 2 to 3 weeks. So he hurt his thumb in the win over the Tampa Bay Bucks on Sunday, which was his best game of the year. 15 carries, 91 yards, season-high 2 touchdowns. Irsay says hopefully it's only 2 weeks, but time will tell. There's just not a lot of confidence in controlling the ball and the hand strength at this point. So the decision has been made to move forward in that direction. That was the quote that was given to The Athletic. So he missed the first 4 games of the season in 2021 the first 4 games of the season this year with a ankle injury. He was on the PUP, then came back for the Titans, which was the Week 5 debut. And he has started 5 of the 7 games that he's played, but Zach Moss has still been a really good asset for them. Taylor is not inconsequential, and this could have an impact on Sunday's game, given that he's coming off of his best performance of the season, and the Colts will look to patch this thing back up together. William Jones says his confidence level is a -2. Corey D. Jackson says I'm at an 8 on the arm of number 8. Talking about Will Levis in that moment. Tig says it's 50-50 from here on out. More Titan-type football than ever. That I'm inclined to agree with, absolutely. Jason Lockridge says 5%. We aren't beating the Dolphins on the road. Fulton's has already given up 2 touchdowns, and we haven't played yet. Well, I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about the Colts. And here's the percentage chance, just to go through this, for the Titans right now. They have a less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. They are a greater than 99% chance to miss the postseason right now. If the Titans beat the Colts, that percentage chance grows to 1%, a whole 1% if the Titans beat the Colts. if the Titans beat the Dolphins, that percentage chance grows only to 3%, according to the New York Times playoff predictor. The Titans would have to rattle off 3 straight wins. So beating the beating the Colts, on the road at the Dolphins, and home for the Texans in week 15 to even get above 5%. They would have an 8% chance to make the postseason if they beat those 3 teams in their next 3 games. If they win out against the Seahawks, on the road against the Texans, and hosting the Jaguars, they would then be vaulted to a wild card, likely a wild card position, because the Jags would likely still have the division lead. They would be an 88% chance to make the postseason, a 93% chance to make the postseason, and an 88% chance to be a wild card team. If they lose to the Jaguars in week 18, that drops mightily. They drop down to 32% chance to make the postseason, even if they win 5 straight and lose to the Jags in week 18. So it's postseason is a big stretch, right? But right now, you're looking at the opportunity to, if not make the playoffs, keep the Colts out of the playoffs, because that's more what we're talking about. This could be a big bailout moment for the Titans. And I'll tell you what my level of confidence in them beating the Colts is here in just a second, right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by Zen Sports. Speaking of Titans and Colts, you have an opportunity when you download the Zen Sports app and plug in the promo code ATOZTN to win 2 tickets to the Titans Colts VIP tailgate, courtesy of Zen Sports. Now, again, that's not tickets to the game. It's tickets to the VIP tailgate, which has free food, free booze, great entertainment, a great time had by all. And, of course, when you use that promo code in the Zen Sports app, you also have access to your $1,000 no danger first wager. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 or up in Tennessee to bet. So right now the line on Zen Sports is it's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game for the Colts coming in here. Titans not getting the benefit of home field advantage at least in Vegas, even though they've won 4 games, all 4 games coming at Nissan Stadium this year, where they will again play on Sunday. I would give them probably about a 10% chance to beat the Colts on Sunday. Indianapolis is a more offensively gifted team, which is ironic given that Gardner Minshew is their starting quarterback. The coaching staff, I trust more with less than I do this coaching staff, which is ironic to say because Shane Steichen is in his first year. I do think that the Titans defense is going to put up a fight, but Titans going to have to score more than 17 to make this a legitimate game. I don't think they're going to be able to drag. I don't think they're going to be able to score with the Colts the way that the Colts have been scoring, and I don't think that the defense is going to be able to hold up if the Titans offense can't score. So, of course, points are going to be at a premium, and I'd probably put Tennessee at a 10% chance to beat Indianapolis on Sunday. But Jack says you'll eat that prediction. Probably. I mean, listen, football's weird. Weird shit happens all the time in the sport, Jack. And I don't necessarily think it's a prediction. You're just asking me for a percentage chance. And like I said, I don't necessarily do record predictions anyway. I think they're a waste of time. But if you're just straight up asking me, do you feel good about the Titans' chance to beat the Colts on Sunday? I'm gonna say no. We do the best bet on the pregame show with Blaine Bishop and Mickey Ryan every Sunday. And, they always ask me to make my best bet. And I've typically been betting against the Titans, and I'm winning on the season. I'm 8-5. Right. No, excuse me. I'm 8-6 on the season right now, betting against the Tennessee Titans in these games. So I would say that I would probably hold that line, given that there's still a lot of problems with this football team. And I don't think that they, winning against Carolina on Sunday fixes that. But, I think that looking at them and looking at the Titans, there's just more sample size of them finding ways to win in the ways that I haven't seen the Titans do just yet. So whatever happens with Tennessee, we'll find out on Sunday. Again, you can't bet against them. At home, I think that there's well, you can bet against them at home. I have bet against them at home. And whether you're betting against the point spread or betting against them on the money line, those are two different conversations. But yeah, there's not a lot of evidence to suggest that you should feel good about the Titans beating the Colts on Sunday, other than football's a weird sport and this stuff happens. So we'll find out on Sunday. Obviously, I'll be there, and you can't go an entire second half of football the way that they did on Sunday against Carolina and win a game. That has to change, obviously. But right now, that's kind of my feeling on the game itself, and my level of confidence is, yeah, they showed me that they have made some improvements as a football team, but there are still some critical flaws that they have to resolve. So speaking of critical flaws, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers, head coach getting fired and the Titans not being the entire cause of it, but being a big part of it. We'll talk about that together. How many coaches do you think the Titans have legitimately gotten fired in the last 5 years? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch is where you can interact. We'll talk about it together right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by the great people at the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Passion is what you want. Competitiveness is what you want when you want somebody who's there to protect your constitutional rights. That's what Amanda J. Gentry and her team are there to do for you wherever justice demands, practicing in Tennessee family and criminal courts in 35 counties across this great state. AmandaJGentry.com for more information. So Frank Reich got fired yesterday. We didn't talk about it, but David Tepper gave a very bizarre press conference earlier today. And it made me laugh seeing the news yesterday, not because Frank Reich got fired. That's, no, you don't like to laugh at anybody getting fired unless it's like Urban Meyer, who deserved to get fired. Frank Reich is widely known as a very good human being. I don't think he's as good a coach as people hype him up to be. He may be a good offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's as good a head coach as people have made him out to be over the course of the last couple of years. And this was a tough situation that he was in, but I don't root against the person Frank Reich. I just thought it was funny that you got fired after the Titans game. So how many coaches do you feel like the Titans have gotten fired in the last 5 years? David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, gave a press conference earlier today that I thought was quite bizarre, in which he's explaining what he's looking for in his next coach, given that he's already fired 3 of them since 2018.
No, it's been reported, and we talked about it. Originally, we were going to go with the number 2 pick, and we thought we would get CJ because we thought the Texans were going to pick Bryce. And listen, we preferred Bryce. He was our number 1 pick. We had a lot of conviction. But in answer to your questions, it's just not the way the process was done. The process was done the way the process was done. And again, even though if there was a process with 5 people in the room and the way the votes came in, Frank was the first choice, I always could veto that choice. And even if it was Bryce and the votes came in unanimously in this particular case, I could have vetoed that choice. In both cases, I supported both choices. Okay? I'm just going to say that I supported both choices. I supported the coaches. I supported the scouts, their unanimous opinion. And I supported Frank Reich. So whatever's good, bad, or indifferent is ultimately because the buck stops here, and I take full responsibility for everything. But that's the way the process runs. And just one last thing, and then we're going to go here. As far as Bryce Young is concerned, I cannot say this, for myself, and I think everybody in this building would share this sentiment. We are totally confident in that pick. Okay, I think the people that made that pick first, would be totally confident in that. Some of them you could ask. Okay, and I think and for me, I'm totally confident in agreeing with that pick.
All right, thank you.
So that is the owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper, who fired his head coach after the Panthers lost to the Titans on Sunday. Now, Tepper has fired 3 coaches, all 3 coaches that he's hired since taking the job or taking control of the Carolina Panthers in 2018. It doesn't seem to have a lot of patience, and Frank Reich is the first-year coach to be fired this early in the season in the history of the league. I know he's not a rookie head coach, but this was his first year on the job. That's never happened in 11 games the way that it did. The way that it did with Frank Reich on Sunday or on Monday morning, I guess. Now, How many coaches have the Titans gotten fired in the last 5 years? Well, I would say only 2, but they've gotten the same coach fired twice. The Colts fired Frank Reich after they got embarrassed by the New England Patriots. And the New England Patriots obviously are a bad football team right now. MB says, Buck, don't forget he's had 4 interim head coaches too. 100%. That is the case. But what I see in the Titans is that they've gotten Frank Reich fired twice because the Titans continued to beat the Colts while Mike Vrabel and Frank Reich were in the division. Jim Irsay was publicly frustrated with that, and it was a big reason that Frank Reich was let go in Indianapolis. Again, that's not the only reason he was fired yesterday by the Panthers, but it was clearly a boiling point for David Tepper. And then Urban Meyer. They got Urban Meyer fired in 2021. I want to say that was 2021. After the Titans and Jags game here in Nashville. There was a bunch of other reasons why Urban Meyer should have been fired. But the thing that ultimately was the tipping point was the Titans' loss in 2021. Getting swept that year by Tennessee was more than Shad Khan could handle, and they canned Herb after only, I believe, 13 games at that point in the season, maybe 12 games. I can't remember. It was in December for sure. So maybe 13 or 14 weeks that Urban Meyer lasted in the National Football League. And that was all that there was to that. So bad business going against the Titans. If you're a coach who's got their job on the line, that is absolutely so. Tennessee Tactical says Buck Lucas got too spicy today. He was in bad shape by the end of the show. Yes, if you guys didn't see the radio show today, I'd go recommend you checking out the YouTube on 104.5 The Zone of our live broadcast from Hattie B's today, because Lucas, we played Russian roulette with Hattie B's hot chicken tenders today with Lucas, and he ended up getting the worst of it at the very, very end of the show. Ben Hall says, so Buck, when are the Titans going after? Who are the Titans going after when we trade away Vrabel? Mike Vrabel's going to be here. Mike Vrabel's going to be here at the end of the season, unless there's some kind of like legitimate scandal around him. Like I really think the Titans could lose out and Mike would be here at the end of the year. We'll see, because they may not have another win left in them. Like, this may be a 4-win football team, and we'll find that out in the coming weeks. That's why they play the football games. But unless there's like a legitimate like scandal revolving Mike Vrabel that gets him fired for cause, Mike's going to be here. So anyway, we'll keep it moving. We'll do a gone viral video. We'll wrap up the primetime show. It is presented by the great folks at the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com. Get your dream address without the stress. The intel edge you need to succeed can be found at GaryAshton.com. What's the best thing that you saw on the internet this weekend? It is the subject of gone viral. This came today. I know that, a weekend, or I guess this week, since it's a Tuesday, Sunday through Tuesday counts. What's the best thing you saw on the internet this week? Mine was Aaron Rodgers talking about some things, basically, that Tom Brady just said in a passing glance on the Stephen A. Smith podcast. I liked Aaron Rodgers' explanation of Dak Prescott and the Mike McCarthy offense, for example, by today. It's why I enjoy listening to football players in honest moments when they're comfortable, because I like to learn more about the sport. And guys like Aaron Rodgers have a lot that they can teach people.
The step is just getting back onto the field and doing some more like real football things, being able to throw to my teammates and go through some individual part of practice. I think will be kind of the next step to see what my lateral movement is like. And after going through some of these, more football related moves, how do I respond? How's my leg respond to that? How's my Achilles, my foot, my heel, my calf? How does all that respond?
So that instead was a video of Aaron Rodgers talking about his recovery and things of that nature. And what we're seeing from Aaron Rodgers right now is that he plans to make a recovery. It's going to be an interesting way that this plays out in the next couple of weeks. And I like to hear Aaron Rodgers talk on a regular basis. I do think he's uncommonly honest. I do think that he's got his own agenda, and those interviews with Pat McAfee, they definitely, there's nobody pushing back on Rodgers necessarily, but I do like hearing from him, and I'm gonna be sad when he's gone, whenever that ends up happening, because I do think that level of honesty and level of comfort from Aaron Rodgers, is pretty uncommon from quarterbacks, at least. William Jones says he's so disappointed in the Grizzlies this year. Man, I don't know if Ja coming back coming back after, what is it, 25 games that his suspension is supposed to last from the league. I mean, their season's not going to be over by the time he gets back, but Grizzlies look really, really bad right now. It's tough. I think we might be about 10 games away from Ja getting back in the mix of things, but it's just they're tough to watch. Grizzlies really tough to watch right now, and I don't know if Ja alone is going to change that much. They'll be a better team when he comes back, obviously, but we'll do some Grizzlies analysis later in the year. Anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight. Primetime show made possible by True Math Fitness in the Gulch. Go get your first workout free at TrueMathFitness.com. A new way to work out for the best version of you. Nobody goes above and beyond for you as the client the way that True Math Fitness does. No workout ever recycled or repeated. True Math Fitness in the Gulch. Have a great rest of your weekend is what I'm trying to say. It's not the weekend. It's Tuesday. I don't know what day it is. It's week 12 of the football season, and I'm slowly spiraling. Bert is shaking his head at me in the background. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just starting to get tired. But that's okay. We're going to continue to persevere. We will continue to make this happen. We will continue to find ways to talk about your football team, even in a loss to the Colts on Sunday. Have a great rest of your night. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone. See y'all.